And now it's time to take a look at some of the comics out now and coming soon in the pull list. Finally making it onto the shelves this week, we have Star Trek Year 5 issue 21 from IDW Publishing. This is written by Brandon Easton with art by Sylvia Califano. In this issue, with Spock still missing, the crew of the Enterprise needs to figure out where and when he is if they want to save the future. Meanwhile, on Vulcan, Spock is faced with a choice that won't only change his life, but Vulcan's society as he knows it. The final voyages of the original mission continue in this comic. Next up, we have We Only Find Them When They're Dead issue 7 from Boom Studios. This is written by the fantastic Al Ewing with art by Simone DeMeo. In this issue, Marilyn Chen, ambassador for the Inner Worlds, arrive at Malik's flight to broker peace between the Harvesters and the Worshippers. When Jason Hauer, one of the fated Vihan 2 crew, is pulled into these talks, he will soon discover that, like all politics, nothing is as it seems. Also out now, and my comic of the week for this week is Kane and Abel, a one-shot from Image. And in this issue, comic book wise guys Kane and Abel serve up a summer dump cake of genre-busting mischief and masked mayhem in this oversized anthology of never-before published strips. Slip in and out of Subconscious with the astonishing shield bug, surf the flesh wave with Black Fur in Who Fears the Death Roach, journey into the sub-basement in the gasoline-tinged dust mites, and ride into the creep zone with Nightmare and Sleepy in the aptly named Creep Zone. Due out next week, we have Skybound X #1 from Skybound. This is written and illustrated by Robert Kirkman, Chris Dinges, James Harron, Till Walden, Matthew Roberts and Ryan Oatley. In this issue, celebrate a sensational 10 years of Skybound with a cavalcade of your favourite creators for all new stories of your favourite series, past, present and future. Each issue of this oversized weekly series will kick off with a new chapter of the serialised Walking Dead story, Rick Grimes 2000. In addition, they'll be debuting all new series and characters every issue, starting with the first appearance of the most requested Walking Dead character of all time, Clementine, star of the best-selling Telltale's Walking Dead video game series. And did we mention all new Ultra Mega and Manifest Destiny stories? If you want to know what to expect in Skybound's next 10 years, it all starts here. Also out next week from Marvel Comics, we'll have Ultraman, The Trials of Ultraman #4 from Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom with art by Francesca Manna. And in this issue, in Iceland, the critics of the USP are uniting and they finally have what they need to win the rest of the world over. But what are the dark consequences of their actions, and will Ultraman choose to save them from those consequences? Or perhaps a better question to ask is, with opposition mounting, alliances fraying and trust disintegrating, can he? Also out next week, we have the new X-Men #1 from Marvel Comics, written by Jerry Duggan with art by Pepe Larraz. And in this issue, these X-Men are fearless. The heroes of Krakoa are here to save the planet. Things might be complicated between the nation of Krakoa and the rest of the world, but to the X-Men, things are simple. You do what's right, you protect those who need protecting, and you save the world we all share. Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Sunfire, Rogue, Wolverine, Synch and Polaris are the chosen champions of mutant kind, and they will not shirk from any battle for their home planet. Scheduled, but may slip in the schedule, is Star Trek Year 5 #22 from IDW Publishing. Again, written by Jackson Lansing with Colin Kelly and art by Stephen Thompson. In this issue, for 5 years, the USS Enterprise and her crew have journeyed to the edge of the known universe, tackling impossible challenges and menacing foes along the way. But the biggest challenge of all awaits them here at home. And no matter what happens, the lives of Captain Kirk, Spock, Sulu, Chekhov and the rest of the crew will be changed forever. The grand finale of Star Trek Year 5 begins here. Next up, we have Fight Girls #1. This is published by Artists, Writers and Artisans Inc. And this is written and illustrated by Frank Cho. In this issue, 10 hard-as-nails women face off in an ancient contest of champions where the winner truly takes all, the title of Queen of the Galaxy. To win the challenge, each contestant must survive the hazards of the planet's harsh landscape, the ferocious predators on and below its surface, and their fellow contestants. This edition of the contest has a twist. One of the contestants is an infiltrator who has her eye on something bigger than the prize. Who is she, and what does she really want? And finally, and what will be next week's comic of the week, is The Swamp Thing #5 from DC Comics, written by Ram V and drawn by a friend of the show, John McCrae. This is Becoming Part 5. Newly armed with the knowledge and powers he gained from the Green, and yet lonelier than ever, Levi Kami is pulled once more into service as the avatar of the Green is summoned by primal forces to the city of London, where old ideas lie buried, slowly leaching into the reality above. The scars of old wars and the dangers of past ideologies resurface as the Swamp Thing must team up with an old trench-coated acquaintance and his new protege to save the present from the atrocities of our past. And that's it for this week's Pull List. As always, you can find these and more great comics in our On the Radar feature every Wednesday on our Twitter feed. And until I see you next time, happy reading, and now back to the main show.